So when you look at this, it looks like we're just getting reps up, right? He's moving around. I'm passing him the ball. There's not much intent at all in this. And there's a time and a place for that. But I want to show you guys by rewinding this workout all the way how even something very simple can be so much more. And as coaches or just an outsider in general, we can look at something and we can say, this is good, this is bad, this is working on this is working on that. But the intent, the context, the build up to it is really what informs the results that a player gets. And in this workout, my guy Joe here came in. It had been a super intense week of work. Phenomenal shooter for his age. He's a high school player. And the goal for the entire week was for me to get him under 30%. He expressed early in the week that in most of his workouts throughout the season at his school, he was shooting 70, 80%. Simple block shots, moving back and forth. And of course, again, time and a place for confidence work. But he was looking for a little bit more of a challenge going into the offseason. So I said, okay, let's do that. You try to stay above 30%. I'm going to try to set that difficulty to pull you down. And that happened. Throughout the week, we definitely challenged him. A lot of differential learning, shooting through fatigue, contested shooting, and more. That definitely brought his success rate down pretty low to 25, 30%, which is exactly where I wanted it. Is that optimal for an entire offseason? No, maybe we want it a little bit closer to what it would be in a game. But over the week, the goal was a big challenge. Now, he was playing an AAU tournament the coming day. So this is a Thursday workout that you see here. He was starting an entire tournament on Friday. So now it's about finding a balance between one, confidence work, so helping him feel good about his shot going into a tournament. It was a pretty high-level tournament. But also, two, continuing to get better and building confidence through difficulty and seeing how he could turn it around mentally and maybe find some cue words and some ways to shift his mental model to work through difficulty and still remain confident and shoot freely. So in this workout, we came in. A lot of what we were focusing on throughout the week was fluidity and just challenging at times him to be a more athletic shooter, but then also his ability to time everything up, sequence the shot well. So we started with no jump shooting here, which you can see he gets pretty frustrated about because he's missing a lot. He didn't have much of a warm up, so we came in and we got directly to it. We'll then move into some other shooting drills that I can tell pretty early on in this workout here that he's fatigued, he's overthinking a bit. It's just not one of his days, I'll put it that way. You see a lot of air balls on what's definitely a difficult shot, but really nothing compared to what we had been doing early in the week on this jump back shooting here. Now, this is also a movement that I've identified as pretty challenging for him in his system, just based on like how he moves. But it's challenging, right? And I purposefully was setting this up to get him into a mental hole where he is missing a lot, he's not feeling good, and the goal was by the end of this workout to get him out of that. Now, to be fair, I would like to give myself credit, but I didn't know exactly where this workout was going at all. The goal was simply to challenge him at first, to work on some fluidity through that, which is the big goal, and then at the end, give him some confidence shooting, probably some block stuff, maybe help him work through some challenges as well. And this is where it's so interesting because the physical, you could even say biomechanical component of shooting is actually quite tied in with the mental side, where I've noticed he has a far more fluid shot when he's shooting it freely, when he's confident. He's not controlling it or aiming it, holding the ball a little bit too long. When he feels confident and smooth, as do so many other players, he tends to get a little bit more flow. So a quicker counter movement, he attacks the ground a bit more, the ball moves faster, and the goal at first was to challenge the biomechanical part through the feel of it. So on this next drill, again, I've noted over working with him for a little bit of time that when he moves backwards, sometimes his fluidity breaks down. So the goal was to try to create some flow, and that's kind of the word that we came up with there was flow. Challenging him to create that quicker counter movement, not get stuck at the bottom, and then also for the ball not to get stuck in his hand going upward, which again usually happens when you're aiming the ball. Now, wasn't really clicking. I was hoping it would. I was hoping that would initiate some of this confidence because sometimes it's tougher to cue the confidence, and if you cue the biomechanical portion of it, then the mental side takes care of it. That was not the case. So something that I know Joe responds well to is essentially faking it till you make it. And a drill that I know Joe responds well to or has in the past is the Curry drill, which is pretty simple here. If you shoot it and you make it, you get a point. If you shoot it and you make it and you turn around, you get 3 points. If you turn around and you miss it, it's -1. If you just miss it and you know you're going to miss it, so you don't turn around, it's 0. Now, most times I would not give a player 3 points for turning around on a make, but I wanted to shift the incentives towards him turning around and trusting it more. I also cued him early on to shoot every shot like a game winner. So really imagine that you're catching the ball with half a second left and you just got to let it fly. And he has a 3-point incentive to turn around, which, as you can see, actually accomplishes this mission where at first he gets a little bit in the hole. He's like -5, but eventually I just let him keep going. I didn't give him a target score for that reason because I knew at some point he would figure it out. And he hits a good amount in a row, starts to feel more confident. And you can just see this, right? Like visually, again, biomechanically, you can see how confidence changes his ability to shoot the ball, to shoot it up, to shoot it faster, to shoot it with more fluidity. So after that, my first order of business was to ask him for one word that would describe that feeling. And this is what he says.
Be anywhere in that word to describe. Okay, just label that feeling, and then you have a word in your brain to try to think back to it. It's not legs, it's not elbow, it's not like the right angle, it's just feeling. Label that feeling and try to get back to that.
Now, as a coach, it's natural for us to always feel like we want to cue players into the next step, right? The next evolution in their mindset, their form, technique, whatever. For me, it was definitely an urge of mine to, for the rest of the session, continue to work through it and constantly cue him, water, right? Or flow, or any of these things that we've been working on. But I had another instinct on the other side of on the other shoulder telling me, just let him shoot for the next 20 minutes. You can manipulate the difficulty, the constraints, and more, and even his mindset by simply, the passes, the timing, and more, which you're going to see. But just let him shoot. So at this point, I tell him, and I don't know if you guys could hear the crappy audio, so I'll just tell you guys. But look, you're going to shoot for an unspecified period of time. I'm not allowed to say a word. Your goal is to utilize that tool of the cue word, water, and everything that we've been discussing and thinking about, and knowing where you want to get to, having that reference point of how you want your shot to feel, how fluid and confident you want it to feel, and you're just going to shoot whatever shots you want to. And I'm going to rebound for you, and we're just going to go until I feel like it, or you feel like it. If you tell me that you want to leave and you're done, we get out of here and we move on. Go. So at first, nothing crazy here, more so just giving him a chance to express what he was just thinking about in terms of the cue word and shooting it with a little bit more fluidity. And you can see he's he gets it, right? His mental model around how to apply his shooting into game-like situations is pretty good. He's moving around, shooting different shots, shooting it at a pretty high speed. So for now, it's just kind of supporting him through this, rebounding in a regular sense. And you could say that this is too much attention to detail, and I wouldn't be mad at you, but I want you guys to notice the little things here, right? The net gets stuck up on the rim here. Usually, I would fix this. I wouldn't say usually, but if I want more success, if it's already difficult and I would like more success, you fix it, all right? With the depth perception, and even on one of these, you kind of like, it rims in and out because of it, or a couple of them. I'm leaving it like this on purpose because now I want to start ramping up the difficulty here, and you'll see how this goes. And you can see right here, he gets into a flow, he starts making shots, he's feeling very confident about it, he's turning around, and it looks good. So now, what do? Well, I want to pull that difficulty up a little bit, right, and the success rate down. So now the bad passes start coming out. I fixed the net here because I don't want it to be too over the top, but I would like him to start shooting a little bit more, I guess, adaptable shots and being confident through these as well. So now we've kind of built like this baseline feeling of flow, of confidence. But now it's time to stress test it a little bit, which you can see here as I start to throw off the rhythm as well. The passes not only are not as good, but they're not as predictable. They're going in different directions, but also sometimes they take a couple bounces. They're a little bit slower. And if you've ever done a shooting drill like this, you feel how frustrating that may be because you just want to find that rhythm and find that flow state and find that repeatability. But he does a really good job here kind of fighting back, right? It's like I give him a little jab to the body to make it a little bit more difficult for him. But he kind of hits back and fights back with more confidence. He's still turning around on some of these shots. I continue to challenge him here. These higher passes that I use here, I actually find these to be a very good cue for flow because you kind of catch it down, and we've done some drills like that before where he catches the ball moving downwards, and that allows him to really attack the ground or synchronize everything on the way back up. It's a nice little I use like a trampoline analogy. When the ball lands from a higher trajectory, almost treat your body like a trampoline where it just like absorbs the ball and then springs it back up into the air. But as you can see, again, I'm constantly throwing off his flow now, and I'm looking to see how well he can maintain that flow. And again, the coolest part about this to me, and this is something that I need to do more often, is that not one word was said for this entire 18-minute shooting drill here, right? It's a constant back and forth of cueing of him primarily in his own mind, working through things without a coach, because ultimately you're going to have to be able to do that and control your own mind and work through problems, solve problems yourself, work through a period where you miss 4 or 5 shots, you're getting bad passes, and stay confident. And he's doing a phenomenal job here. And this, number one, goes to show how much we can control as coaches without speaking, how much we can cue, incentivize behaviors that we can cause to emerge or help emerge. But then also how much you can get out of as a player just intentfully going through a simple shooting drill like this with a ton of autonomy for you to figure it out yourself. So this goes on for a little while. Again, I continue to play around with the pace here. And then there are a couple things that start to develop as we get further, I guess, closer towards the end here. Number one, I start being a little bit of a dickhead at times, so I just let the ball bounce out. I'll kind of like roll it to him in some annoying speeds, but it's, again, constantly going back and forth, pushing and pulling. Now, as you can see here, I'm really dragging out the time between shots, and this is less about difficulty and I guess you could say taking away the rhythm and more about spacing, right? What happens in an athlete's mind in between reps? When there isn't much time and they're in a flow, they usually stay in a flow. Everyone's felt it. Everyone's felt that zone or that flow state before, and it's very easy to get there in a drill. When there's spacing, there's more time to think. There's more time to reflect. There's more time, and sometimes, in a good way sometimes, to reflect and make fixes for the next rep. But then sometimes frustration starts to build up. Other negative emotions can be amplified. And then, of course, you can see that the rhythm is taken away. So it's more like a game, you could say here, for sure, where you don't necessarily know when you are about to shoot. You just have to be able to calibrate yourself quickly. So sometimes I throw it faster like that. And then sometimes I really space it out. But this is very calculated, again, because I want some processing happening in between reps. And sometimes, again, this is just about consolidation. Spacing is a very well-studied scientific concept in regard to learning, because we need time for our brain to process the result from the last repetition or the last set of repetitions And as I can see Joe start to figure some things out mentally, sometimes, again, it's about allowing time for his brain to consolidate those things. And then sometimes it's about allowing time for his brain to continue to stir up negative emotions and thoughts that he's going to have to fight through again. So eventually this goes on and on and on, just this constant back and forth. And after around 15 minutes, I identify a challenge for him that I do not tell him, but once he makes 5 in a row, we're out. So I make it a little bit easier, and he eventually makes 5 in a row. I cut it, and just notice what he says here at the end, which is good because this to me tells me that it was that entire mental battle was going on in his brain, and I can't read his mind, but being able to reflect like this is a great sign for me.
What do you feel? Just smooth. Yeah. That's how once I got like halfway through, I started getting tired, so then I started like holding it a little bit more.
Yep. Like trying to aim it.
Trying to aim it, like you said. I'm tired. It goes like.
Yeah.
Shit, and that's why I'm able more now than I have in like months.
Yeah.
So it's like I kind of just gotta like keep that going. I just gotta keep on reminding myself before every single shot. Just keep that same water.
Let it fly.
Thing. Just let it fly.
Let it fly, baby.
Like it doesn't really matter how I miss.